Hi everyone, welcome and I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to do an unboxing of our upgraded Stencils 360 Plus. I'm really excited to introduce this upgrade to you today. It's been a long time in the making. I first demoed this in public during Creativation in April, and I've had people coming to tell us that this tool was the buzz of the show. So let's do a few examples with this new tool and show you what the upgrades are. Without further ado, let's get into it. Your upgraded Stencil 360 Plus comes in this sturdy lift-top box. It's roughly 16 by 16 inch and 1¼ inch thick. Once you open it, you'll find a quick start guide along with an 8-inch stencil. On this easy-to-follow guide, you'll find everything you need to start creating in no time. Then inside, you're going to find the base of the tool. Please note that each piece comes with protective sheets that prevent scratches during transportation, and it's very important that you peel them off before you start. Otherwise, you won't be able to fit them into the base. You have your 6-inch paper guide together with your guide rings for your 4, 6, and 8-inch diameter stencils. And finally, on the very bottom is the GripNGlide mat. When you're not using the tool, simply keep all the pieces inside the sturdy box. This is the best way to store the tool. For those of you who are not familiar with the 360 line, our original tool before this upgrade does come with a plastic folder, which is also nice. However, this lift-top box is indeed much sturdier in comparison. This is your GripNGlide mat. On the bottom is silicone base and it will easily grip onto most work surfaces. Note that there's a protective sheet on the front. Before you start, gently peel it off and don't throw this away. You see a series of common card sizes ranging from 4x4 all the way up to 12x12. We also have the typical A2 size, 5x7, and letter size 8.5x11. So with these clear markings on the mat, we're now able to eliminate the physical paper guides we used in the past, but we kept the 6-inch one for 6-inch square stencils. There isn't many tools out there that can cater 12x12, and with the hybrid design of PVC plus silicone, this is truly one of a kind. Okay, so on the front is PVC, and here's the magic of this mat. In the middle portion, it has sticky areas where it will hold your cardstock, and there's also sticky areas along the perimeter that is designed to hold your tool in place. So with a brand new mat, these sticky areas can get pretty sticky, otherwise it just won't last as long. So when you place down your cardstock, you just need to give it a gentle little push. Don't go crazy and press too hard, otherwise when you peel off your cardstock may get damaged. And do not use copy paper since it's way too thin and it will also easily leave residue to the tacky portion, just like a Cricut mat. Another gentle reminder is that after finishing your project, remember to not leave the cardstock on there for too long because that could also make it difficult to peel it off. And also do not apply heat directly on top of the mat as it may ruin the sticky portion as well. If you've played with the original tool before, first thing you'll notice that in this Plus version, we've added a 72-degree scale, which makes a star-shaped design. Okay, so to start, you simply line up your base with reference to the registration mark on the mat. If you have the original version, you'll be happy to know that this mat is compatible with your tool. You would just use the right angles shown on here to line up your base. Now with the Plus version, you'll refer to the rounded corners to position your base. Now to stabilize the base, you give it a little press, and it's okay to press with a little bit more pressure here as you do not want your base to move during the whole creative process. Today I'm going to use the 8-inch stencil that comes with the kit. This is called Zen Vibes. On the insert card, it'll show you a few ways on how you could get started, how to layer your stencil with inspiration on the angles of rotation and what they will look like. For example, here's a look at a 5-point turn design, along with some other useful tips. Today I'll be working with the 8-inch stencil that comes with the kit, so I'm taking out my 8-inch guide ring and sliding it into the base. You'll notice another improvement that we've made. We've removed most of the radial lines on the guide rings compared to the original version. In the original design, we relied on those continuous radial lines extending from the guide ring to the base to mark rotation stops when spinning stencils of different sizes. We've had feedback from some crafters that the original tool may look a bit intimidating and gave the wrong impression that it was difficult to use. And of course, we wanted to change that thought. By removing many of these lines, we hope to make the tool feel more approachable, inviting, and beginner-friendly. In order to eliminate those radial lines, we've simplified the system so that you now rely on a single arrow on the guide ring to mark your rotation stops. To make this work seamlessly, we've spent countless hours fine-tuning the size of the guide rings and minimizing the gap between the ring and the base. This helps reduce any potential shifting of the stencil and guide ring during ink blending. Let me tell you, from a manufacturing perspective, this is much harder to achieve than it looks. Even a tenth of a millimeter difference in the size of the ring can significantly affect how snugly it spins. We've made it as precise as possible, but you may still notice slight variations in tightness between rings or sets. Thanks to the clever design of the sticky zones on the mat, you're able to rotate the guide ring smoothly while keeping your cardstock and base securely in place, all with very minimal effort. Every stencil comes with an alignment marker at the top, which indicates its recommended rotation interval. A star symbol like this one means you can choose from multiple rotation angles to create a variety of looks. Your next step is to attach the stencil to the guide ring using removable tape. Line up the stencil so that the alignment marker aligns with the arrow on the guide ring. I like to start with the arrow pointing at the 12 o'clock position. Once you have everything lined up, feel free to place tape over the alignment marker as well. This prevents ink from accidentally blending through it. Your cardstock and base stay put, but the guide ring still spins like a dream. No slipping, no shifting. Pretty cool, right? With barely any setup, you're all set to dive into the fun part, ink blending. Our ink pads come with labels out of the box. For this example, I'm using Passion Flower and Wild Indigo. I'm starting with Passion Flower, and I will be referencing to the 45-degree turning interval, which is the scale with the triangles. Notice how the arrow points to the first solid triangle? I'm choosing to alternate my two colors, so after ink blending my initial pattern, instead of going to the next outline triangle with the other color, I'm just going to skip that first and then go to the next solid triangle. That way I don't have to clean my stencil on every turn. After that's done, I'm going to go back to the outline triangle with my second color. Now I'm simply going to turn to the next outline triangle. Now let's see what we have. Effortlessly, I've created this gorgeous pattern right in front of me. There's no lifting the stencil or any template, no masking, just smooth gliding of the guide ring to create this beautiful overlapping design. So, of course, you can leave it as it is, or you can add on more patterns or explore more possibilities. So let's do another layer using the 30-degree turning interval. So pop your stencil back in the guide ring and blend away. As usual, I'm starting at 12 o'clock for my first ink blend. Then I rotate the guide ring and stencil by 30 degrees, or simply jumping from circle to circle on the rotation scale. Since this pattern is symmetrical, I only need to make half a turn to complete the entire design. It's super easy and satisfying. As you may know, we have 4 palettes of ink colors. The great thing is the colors coordinate beautifully across all 4 palettes. I just used Wild Indigo and Passion Flower from the Winter palette, and I'm now adding Bellflower from our Spring palette. Are you ready? Let's take this off and take a closer look. I just love how it turned out. So when you take your cardstock off the mat, there's no residue, no mess. This stenciling tool is truly unmatched in the market. With this upgrade, you can now achieve gorgeous, precise results just by spinning the guide ring and stencil, adjusting your angle of rotation, and doing it more efficiently than ever before. If you get ink on the mat, you can use a baby wipe or a dry or even a damp microfiber towel to wipe it clean, but only on the non-sticky areas. It's important that you do not use baby wipes on the tacky section, otherwise you may ruin the stickiness. I won't get into all the mat care details in this video. Maybe I'll do another one just for that, but you will find everything you need in your quick start guide. So feel free to check back on that anytime. So just gently remove the tool from the mat. As you can see, the tool is very sturdy, flexible, and this is also very durable. Now I wanted to do another example using a letter size 8.5 by 11 inch piece of cardstock. I'm using 80 pound, and simply lay down your base. Make sure you gently adhere your cardstock. Don't put too much pressure on your cardstock. Press the base down, make sure it doesn't move. And you're all ready to go. A useful tip for you is that you can add a little piece of tape on your guide ring, just like so that you have this little handle so you can pull it up when you're all done with ink blending. I'm using Salvia and Silver Leaf. Both are from the Summer palette. These shades are super soft, muted, which I absolutely love. I always like to start with the lighter color first. For this design, I've chosen a 22.5 rotation interval. That means I'll be ink blending at every heart symbol. First, I'll ink blend Silver Leaf on all the solid stops, and then follow up with Salvia on all the outline stops. Let's do a quick comparison. Notice how using a smaller turning interval gives you more overlays? I just love the cool details that show up in the center. Now imagine the possibilities. More colors, mixing different stencils, or simply changing up the rotation angles. The results are endless. And I always like to remind people, it's not just about the final product. There's something truly soothing about the process itself. Mandala building, creativity, stress relief. This tool isn't just for crafting. It's a little getaway to healing through art. Now I'm going to cut this 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper into 4 A2 size cards. This 4-for-1 method is perfect when you need some cool backgrounds in a pinch. Quick, easy, and super fun to do. Now I'm going to show you an example using a 12 by 12 canvas featuring our brand new large size stencil. This big beauty measures 11.5 inches in diameter, and it's designed specifically for creating larger backgrounds like this one. I know some of you are scrapbookers, and if that's you, this might just be one of those tools that you didn't know you need until now. In this example, I'm using the new 72-degree rotation scale. That's the one marked with pentagons. This scale makes it easy to create star-shaped designs with precision and ease. Honestly, I don't think there's anything else like this on the market for stenciling star patterns. As I'm doing here, you might want to use a couple pieces of tape to stabilize the stencil before you start ink blending. For my star-shaped design, I'm only using half of the stencil pattern. Here, I'm masking off the bottom half to make sure I don't accidentally ink blend over that area. Here I'm using Mulberry and Puya. They're both from the Autumn palette. Now as you can see, there are 3 hatched areas on the base. When you're working with the 11.5-inch stencils, it's recommended to place a small piece of tape on each of these spots. This helps prevent the stencil from sliding underneath the base and also allows for smoother and more controlled rotations. As you ink blend, feel free to add a piece of tape to stabilize your stencil. Or if you're comfortable just holding it down with your hand as you go, that works too. Whatever helps you feel most in control. And with just a few turns, we have ourselves a beautiful star-shaped designs in minutes. Now let's make some cards. I'm using the new Begin Again floral stamps, part of our very first floral collection launching in the upcoming release. This launch is super exciting because it includes not only stamps, but also our very first matching press plates, layering stencils, and embossing folders. Right now, I'm stamping out a bunch of flowers and leaves. Then I'll grab the coordinating layering stencil set, which is super beginner friendly. Each stencil is clearly labeled, so you always know which flower or leaf you're working on. After that, I'll use the coordinating dies to cut out all the floral elements, ready to assemble into some beautiful card designs. Now I'll be white heat embossing some sentiments from another new stamp set called Flourish Boldly. Now it's time to arrange the elements. It's always a good idea to add some foam tape on some of the elements for extra dimension. Turns out I had an extra shadow box lying around, so I thought, why not turn this into a little piece of home decor? The floral accent perfectly complement the stenciled background, giving this 4-4 design a cohesive and elegant feel. Now let's finish up this 12 by 12 background. Thanks to the GripNGlide mat being sized for 12 by 12 cardstock, you can now create scrapbook backgrounds effortlessly. It's such a fun and creative way to add custom designs to your pages. Now I'll admit, I'm more of a card maker than a scrapbooker, and I'm no expert when it comes to layouts. But I hope this gives you some inspiration on how this tool can be used for scrapbooking too. If you know any scrapbookers who you think could take this tool to the next level in that space, I'd love to connect with them. I hope you enjoyed today's inspiration. I can't wait for you to see all the brand new products in our upcoming release. Mark your calendars. We'll be celebrating with a fun Instagram hop on July 29th. Please subscribe to our channel and thank you for watching.